أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله الذي ليس لقضائه دافع ولا كصنعه صنع صانع، وهو الجواد الواسع لا تخفى عليه الطلائع ولا تضيع عنده الودائع. والصلاة والسلام على سيد الأنام وحبيب الملك العلام أبي القاسم محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المكرمين المظلومين، سيما بقية الله في الأراضين وحجته على الخلائق أجمعين، الحجة ابن الحسن فداه أرواح العالمين. السلام على الحسين المظلوم أسير الكربات وقتيل العبرات. السلام على من أطاع الله في سره وعلانيته. السلام على من سمحت نفسه بمهجته. For the love of Fatima al-Zahra, please recite aloud salawat. The secret recipe for complete prosperity is found in an equation. This equation has two elements. And yes, fame and wealth are not part of the equation. Anyone that follows this equation will pave the way for that person to reach ultimate success, both in this life and the afterlife. What is the equation and what are the two components? The Prophet, before his death, he gave us a roadmap. He said, I am leaving behind two weighty things in the famous hadith. The first is the Book of God. The Book of God is a rope, and this is an analogy, that extends from the heavens to the earth, to God's creation. It is the link between us and the Almighty God. The second element is my holy progeny. This is the treasure. This is the Prophet's miracle. But we need to adopt this equation for us to attain ultimate prosperity. My lecture tonight revolves around the relationship between Imam Hussain alayhi salam and the Holy Quran. The relationship between these two is not the relationship between the Constitution and the embodiment of the Constitution. He wasn't just a walking, talking Quran. The relationship wasn't just a relationship between a set of teachings and the implementation of these teachings. The relationship between the two is a deep relationship. These two elements create this fusion, this bond that created this miracle that provides us with ultimate prosperity. The relationship between the two is the relationship between a set of laws that govern the universe, laws that have absolute authority over our life. And Imam Hussain alayhi salam, his life, as it unfolded, the verses of the Quran were being developed Let me demonstrate how this happens. It is recommended that we recite the verses of the Quran, especially when we travel. And we have narrations that state that if you recite certain verses in the Quran, these verses will give you protection. There are verses in the Quran that if you recite them, if the entire world tries to harm you, these verses will create a shield between you and them. No one will ever be able to harm you. Or we have narrations that tell us people during the time of the Prophet, they tried to harm him. Certain people tried to kill the Prophet. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed a verse to the Prophet. This verse created a buffer zone between him and his opponents and his enemies. The Prophet would become invisible to them. They couldn't even see the Prophet. The Quran, brothers and sisters, is a powerful tool. It's not just a set of laws enacted by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The Quran creates these laws that are part of a divine system. Take this example. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed to the Prophet, وَلَا يَسْتَخِفَّنَّكَ الَّذِينَ لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ. Those people that do not believe in you shall not belittle you and undermine your message. Now this wasn't a message that was imparted to the enemies of the Prophet. This wasn't just a message given to the Prophet. No. This verse created this immunity, created this protection to the Prophet, telling him that your enemies will not be able to belittle you. They will not be able to undermine your authority. Even though they tried hard, even though they came together, all the people that did not believe in the Prophet, they came together to eliminate the Prophet, to kill the Prophet. But all their efforts were in vain. Whatever they did was counterproductive and resulted in the elevation of the status of the Prophet. وَرَفَعْنَا لَكَ ذِكْرَكَ. This verse itself is elevating the status of the Prophet. No matter what they do, today the strongest man on earth is Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And from every 5 people walking this earth, one of them is named Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala. It's the most common name. It's the fastest growing religion. Even though his own tribe, they stood against him. وَلَا يَسْتَخِفَّنَّكَ الَّذِينَ لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ. This verse reveals a reality. This verse is a manifestation of a law that governs the universe. No one can belittle you, O Prophet. No one can undermine your authority, O Rasulullah. Now Imam Hussein's life is the development of these laws. Now tonight, I would like to look at some of the commonalities between the Quran and Imam Hussain alayhi salam. Number 1, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that the holy book, the Quran, is infallible, is impeccable. The Quran does not make any mistakes. The Quran does not have any erroneous ideas. And no one in history and no one will ever be able to disprove the Quran. And this is a big challenge, brothers and sisters. The Quran was revealed 14 centuries ago to a man, may God's peace and blessings be upon him, that lived in the Arabian Peninsula. And the Quran tackles social issues, scientific issues. And yet no one can disprove even one statement made by the Quran. وَلَا يَأْتِيهِ الْبَاطِلِ. Absolutely impeccable and pure, to an extent that the Quran in some verses refers to the Quran, to the verses of the Quran, as if pointing out to something that is far away. تِلْكَ آيَاتُ الْكِتَابِ. You're reciting the Quran, but as if you're talking about something that is not close to you. تِلْكَ آيَاتُ الْكِتَابِ الْمُبِينِ. Some scholars say the reason why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks in this fashion is because the Quran is sublime. We cannot impose our own misinterpretation and misrepresentation of the Quran on the Quran. It is sublime. وَلَا يَأْتِيهِ الْبَاطِلِ. Falsehood cannot creep into the Quran. Falsehood cannot come close to the Quran. And you know why this is significant and important? Let me put things into perspective. The scientific community sometimes conducts major studies funded by the government. They spend sometimes billions of dollars. Studies that take sometimes 50 years, 60 years. Studies that include sometimes hundreds of thousands of people, right? But you can never be certain about the conclusion of these studies. They're always prone to inconsistencies. They can make mistakes. For decades we used to hear that drinking a certain amount of alcohol is not detrimental to our health. It could be beneficial for our health. But this notion was debunked a few months ago. A recent major study was conducted that debunked this theory. Plus, there is a trust issue with these studies. You see major corporations, they fund a study revealing that soda drinks, the sugar intake of these soda drinks is not harmful for the body. Then, when investigations are made, we realize that this study was funded by a major corporation. There's a conflict of interest in the story. You cannot trust them. And yet with the Quran, these are fixed laws that cannot be changed and cannot be amended and cannot be tampered with. Now we come to Imam Hussain alayhi salam, who is a walking, talking Quran. Brothers and sisters, Imam Hussain is not just a student of the Quran. Imam Hussain is the Quran's partner. As-salamu alayka ya sharik al-Quran. Salam be upon you, O partner of the Quran. We come to the Imam, Ashhadu annaka. In one of his visitation we say, I bear witness, annaka lam tamil min haqqin ila batil. You never lean towards falsehood because you're impeccable, because you're infallible. He is the role model, the divine role model. He is the standard. He is the true north that we must emulate, because he is so pure. When he was born, the Prophet came and he wanted to carry the Imam. One of the women who was involved told the Prophet that I need to wash him, I need to clean him. The Prophet said, you want to purify him? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala purified him. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala cleansed him. And in another visitation we say that even though the people in the pagan era, they lived in a polluted environment, and every person that lived during that era was contaminated, whether it's moral contamination, all sorts of contaminations. And yet with you, O Aba Abdullah, you and the people that surrounded you, your mother, your grandmother, Ashhadu annaka tuhrun, you are purity in its essence. And you were conceived by a pure woman, because there's The mother has a great impact, on shaping the life of her baby. And your grandmother is also pure. You're not only pure, the purity that engulfed you was so overwhelming. You were immersed in purity to an extent that even the land that you're buried in has also been purified by you. Despite all the pressures that mounted on Imam Hussain alayhi salam, he never leaned towards falsehood. He's impeccable. He's infallible. So that's the first commonality. The second commonality is that you cannot put an expiry date on the Quran. And that's astonishing, brothers and sisters. A book that was revealed to the Prophet 14 centuries ago does not become outdated. It's always relevant. The hadith says that the Quran is like the sun and the moon. The sun shines every day. It's the same sun, but a different day. The Quran never becomes old. Imam al-Baqir alayhi salam says in one narration, he says that if these verses, because every verse was revealed, and there's a story behind the revelation of each chapter, each verse. If these verses that were revealed were exclusive to a group of people or a nation or an individual, and that individual perished, so that verse would perish as well, the Quran would perish. But then the Imam says that's not the case. History repeats itself. That's why these verses have many applications. Let me give you a few examples. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about a story, mentions a story in the Quran, He talks about phenomenons. For example, the phenomenon of Pharaoh. Now this has many applications. This is why the Prophet, he said that Abu Jahl is the Pharaoh of his time. Any individual who is not held accountable for his deeds and actions and feels unrestricted would become like Pharaoh. This is why, as I mentioned in the last couple of nights, Pharaoh killed 90,000 fetuses, right? Saddam, however, killed 4 million people. If Pharaoh used the Israelites to build the pyramids and made them labor day and night and killed a lot of people in the process, you have Stalin killed 1 million people were killed for building just one road in Siberia. 1 million people died for building just one road. Anyone that feels that he has absolute authority, all these despots, all these dictators, because they feel that they are above the law, they behave like Pharaoh. And you don't have to preside over a nation to become like Pharaoh. Sometimes if you don't feel accountable, you're not going to be held accountable for the way you treat your children or the way you treat your wife. The hadith says that sometimes a person becomes in the eyes of God like Pharaoh, even though all he has is his family, his wife and children, because of the way he treats them. So he talks about a phenomenon that has many applications, right? Or for example, he mentions the story of Qarun. Who was Qarun? Qarun was a relative of Musa. He was Musa's cousin, and he was supposed to marry Musa's sister Kiltham. He was supposed to be Musa's brother-in-law. So he was with Musa, he was with the Israelites when they were persecuted. He was part of the mass exodus that happened. Like he was a true believer in Musa's message, right? But no one is immune from the dangers of life. Anyone can go astray. You might go astray just moments before your death. This is why we always need to be careful. One of our scholars, he used to recite this dua in each prayer that he prayed during the last sujood. Allahumma ij'al awaqib umurina khayra. Oh God, I want you to take care of my fate. I want to die while I'm a believer. This man was a believer, right? But he had to be tested. He didn't know that his faith is shaky. He was a wealthy man. One day Musa comes and he says that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala prescribed tax upon you, religious tax. He didn't like it. And this is one of the most difficult tests that we all need to go through. Because religious tax is not forcefully taken from us. You have to voluntarily give your tax. And it's difficult. You work day and night, you labor, you sweat, and then you have to give a portion of that money to divine or religious causes. It's difficult. So he said, he gave a speech. He told the Israelites that Musa is not content with the position that he holds. He is respected by all the Israelites. He claims that he's a prophet. This is something that we might experience as well. So sometimes I have a desire to do something. I want to take revenge. I want to commit a sin. The shaitan, the devil, what he does is he provides the justifications. For example, why should I pay khums? When all these maulanas are crooks, there is no transparency. We don't know how they spend it. You don't want to pay it. This attitude emanates from your desire not to pay, right? Then comes the justification. So the justification is not legitimate. You might have legitimate concerns. But because you have a desire not to pay, the shaitan comes and provides you with the justifications. So, what he did was, he said, that's not fair. We work day and night, we make the money. And this is what a lot of people, this is a trap that many people fall into. He said that the money that I made is because of my intelligence. It's because of my IQ. It's because I'm smart. So what he was saying is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has nothing to do with my money. So He has no right to take my money from me. We have a hadith that says that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sometimes He makes some people wealthy even though these people don't have like the mental capacity to become millionaires. Average people, below the average people. Why? He's sending a message to us that wealth is not accumulated through intelligence. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chooses to make some people wealthy and some people poor. And you have some very smart, bright minds that are not successful in their financial endeavor. So this is the message that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is trying to get across. So He said that I made the money, I worked so hard. Then what he did was, he could have said that I don't want to pay, I want to commit this sin. No. He wants to bring down Musa, the whole establishment, so that he is not attacked by the Israelites. What he does is he pays a wicked woman to come in the middle of the congregation while Musa is delivering a sermon, to get up and say, oh Musa, you were admonishing the people, you're telling the people to become God-fearing while you committed the sin with me. And you know, with these stuff, just a slight accusation is enough to undermine the status of someone like Musa alayhi salam. So this is not just a story that happened in the past and became obsolete. No. This is an example that repeats itself over and over again. Or for example, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions the story of Tha'laba, not by name, but his story. Tha'laba was a poor man that used to come to the mosque of the Prophet every single day and pray behind the Prophet, all the 5 prayers. So one day he says, Ya Rasulullah, I am so poor. Could you pray to God to make me wealthy, to make me rich? The Prophet said that it's not in your best interest to become rich. And we all have this mentality. We know that there is a verse in the Quran that says, with wealth comes a lot of baggage. You might deviate because of your wealth. But you say, no, I will be an exception. I will help the poor. I will be different. But in 99% of the cases, people are the same. Just 0.1% might be different. So when he insists, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to make something crystal clear. So the Prophet loans him one single dirham, one single silver coin. He goes to the marketplace, he buys a sheep, then he opens his own business because of that single dirham. With wealth came busyness. He was too preoccupied with his business, so he couldn't come 5 times a day to the mosque to pray behind the Prophet. Until he only used to attend the Jum'ah prayer. So one day the Prophet told him, "Why don't you come?" He said, "Ya Rasulullah, I am too busy. I am preoccupied with my business. Can't you see me? I have a lot of customers." And let me mention something that is so important. When you come to the West, there are things that collide with our culture. For example, to us, Thursday night and Friday, these are 2 holy days. These are 2 holy days. The hadith says that Friday is more important and significant than Eid al-Fitr and Eid al-Adha together. It's the most important day in the week. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brings down His mercy on Fridays. And yet, Friday is just another day in the week in this part of the world. You have to send your children to school. Did you know that Fatima al-Zahra used to put her children to sleep in the afternoon on Thursday so that they could wake up for Thursday night? Because it's a holy night. Friday is a holy day. You have to go to school, all right. You have to go to work, all right. So Friday has been taken away from us. Compensate at least for what you're missing out on. Because this is an important day that has been taken away from your calendar. So he said, "I'm too busy. And I even can't come on Friday." So the Prophet said, "Give me back my dirham." Your dirham? It's nothing compared to his wealth. So he gave the Prophet the dirham. He gave him the dirham back. When he gave it to him, he lost all his fortune, lost all his wealth. Then the Quran says, فَأَعْقَبَهُمْ نِفَاقًا إِلَى يَوْمِ يَلْقَوْنَهُ. What happened was, hypocrisy crept into the heart of that man. He lost his faith. He lost his faith. Now when we come to Imam Hussain alayhi salam, again we're talking about the commonalities between Imam Hussain and the Quran. It's not just a story that happened in history. Imam Hussain alayhi salam was the epitome of all the virtues, as we mentioned last night. His enemies were the epitome of all the evil out there. The struggle between these two forces is something that we experience on a daily basis, and this is why we need to invoke Abu Abdullah al-Hussain. You study the life of the people of the Kufa. The people of Kufa, they thought they were the lovers of Ahlul Bayt. They really loved Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam. But because of their obsession with this world, they sided with the enemies of Imam al-Hussain and participated in killing the master of the youth of paradise. So if we have the same obsession and attachment to this world, this dunya will take us to weird places, to strange places, that when you think back, you'll say, "I never knew that I will stand in this position." But because of this obsession, the dunya took you to these places. And this is what happened to the people of Kufa. Otherwise, they had the same set of desires, aspirations, fears, challenges. Study their life and see where you stand in the general scheme of life. Where do I stand? This is why his life, the struggle that manifested itself on the day of Ashura, has so many applications on our lives and on the future until the day of judgment. Many applications. And I'll mention one more commonality between the Quran and Imam Hussain and wrap up my speech. The Quran is invincible. Nothing can destroy the Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Inna, we revealed the Quran and we will safeguard the Quran. You can't tamper with the Quran. You can't destroy the Quran. You can't change the Quran. The Quran is there to exist and to continue to exist. Right? With Imam Hussain alayhi salam. And this is a challenge that still stands and will stand for eternity. No one can destroy Abu Abdullah. No one can sabotage Abu Abdullah. On the 11th of Muharram, Lady Zainab says, as we were about to leave Karbala, Imam Zain al-Abidin was on the back of the horse. He began to quiver and shiver and shake. He was about to surrender his soul. So Lady Zainab looked at him and said, Amma, mali arak tajudu binafsik. What's happening to you? He said, Amma, I can see the corpses of my family members, the body of God's proof on earth lying on the sand dunes of Karbala, mutilated, decapitated, severed into pieces. I have all the right to die. She said, don't worry, oh nephew. This is a promise made by God to our grandfather Rasulullah. And our grandfather Rasulullah told our grandfather, my father Amir al-Mu'mineen, about this. He said that a flag, a standard will be raised for this man. Not just in Karbala, for this man. And the tyrants and despots and the oppressors will try relentlessly to wipe out the name of Hussein. But the more they try, the more he will be elevated and glorified. And we saw this in contemporary history. In Iraq, Saddam misplaced most of the Shias. So they went to different corners of the world, and in every corner, they built a house for Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. Sallallahu alayka ya Mawla ya Abu Abdullah. Sallallahu alayka ya ibna Rasulillah. Sallallahu alayka ya ibn Amir al-Mu'mineen. آمد نزد حضرت گفت ابا هلی من رخصت. با اجازه حاج آقا روزه مسلم خوندم، امشب روزه حضرت علی اکبر رو میخوام بخونم، چند شب بیشتر نمونده تا روز عاشورا. امشب میخوام درباره علی اکبر به شما صحبت کنم، به شما بگم. گفت بابا جان اجازه بده برم. حضرت چی گفتن؟ حضرت دستاشونو بالا بردن گفتن اللهم اشهد علی هؤلاء القوم. خدایا تو شاهد باش که این غلام اشبه الناس خلقا و خلقا و منطقا برسولک. شباهت این غلام با رسول الله در گفتار، در شکل، در اخلاق، هر کی رسول الله دیده بود این شهادت رو میداد، انگار علی اکبر رسول الله. فكنا اذا اشتقنا الى رسولك نظرنا الیه. هر وقت مشتاق می شدیم به رسول الله به این غلام نگاه می کردیم. ارخا عینیه بالدموع. گریه کردن ابا عبدالله، حق دارن گریه کنن. ما این رابطه رو نمیفهمیم تا اینکه رابطه امام حسین رو با پیغمبر بفهمیم که چقدر امام حسین پیغمبر رو دوست داشتن. حالا این غلام که اشبه الناس به رسول الله باید بره کشته بشه، اونم جلو چشمای پدر، جلو چشمای ابا عبدالله. اما قبل از اینکه بره میدون گفت که برو خدا حافظی کن با عمت زینب، با عمت کلثوم، با خواهرت سکینه، با رقیه. رفت داخل خیمه خانم ها. حضرت منتظر بودن بیرون، علی اکبر در نیمدن از خیمه. حضرت رفتن داخل خیمه، یک منظره‌ای دیدن که نزدیک بود حضرت جان بدن اونجا. دیدن از یک سو عمش زینب اونجا وایساده داره گریه میکنه، سکینه پیرهن علی اکبر رو گرفته، رقیه این طرف پیرهن رو گرفته، دارن میگن اله تکلونا، اگر تو رفتی دیگه بابا تنها میشه، نرو، تو رو خدا نرو. اما حضرت دست علی اکبر رو گرفتن، گفتن باید بری سمت میدون. علی اکبر رفتن، شجاع بود، شروع کردن انا علی ابن الحسین ابن علی، من علی هستم. گفتن وای علی اومد، انا علی ابن الحسین ابن علی، نحن و بیت الله اولا بالنبی. من علیم، پسر حسینم، اونم پسر علی ابن ابی طالب. میترسیدن از نام علی ابن ابی طالب. ما شایسته تر هستیم به مقام پیغمبر از شما. تالله لا یحکم فینا ابن الدعی. این زنازاده عبیدالله ابن زیاد این رئیس ما نمیشه. اضربکم بالسیف احمی عن ابی ضرب غلام هاشمی علوی. چنان شما رو میزنم از دفاع از پدرم، من از پدرم دفاع میکنم در این روز. خیلی شجاع بود. بعضیا میگن به بهونه این که پدرشو دوباره ببینه، مادرشو دوباره ببینه، برگشت به خیمه ها. ابا العطش قد قتلنی، تشنگی داره منو میکشه. و ثقل الحدید قد اجهدنی، این اسلحه منو خسته کرده. فهل الی شربت من الماء سبیلا، میشه منو سیراب کنی. میدونست که آب نیست تو خیمه، اما به این بهونه خواست پدرشو دوباره ببینه. پدر گفت برگرد به میدون، رسول الله تو رو سیراب خواهد کرد. رفت به میدون اما خسته بود. منقذ ابن مرت العبدی آمد گفت به خدا سوگند بد این غلامو میکشم. اومد با نیزه کمر علی به کمر علی اکبر زد. علی اکبر نمیتونه صاف بشینه روی اسب، خم شد، سر اسب را در بغل گرفت. یک دانه جیبی آمد، با شمشیر آمد زد روی مفرق علی اکبر، روی سر علی اکبر. این خون چشم اسب را پوشوند. اسب وحشت زده عوض این که برگرده به خیمه ها رفت سمت دشمن ها. فقطعوا بالسیوف ربا، با شمشیرهاشون قطعش کردن. صدا زده پدر این رسول الله آمد منو سیراب کرد. حضرت وقتی که صدای علی اکبر را شنیدن سوار اسب شدن، اما عوض این که سمت میدون برن سمت عکس میدون رفتن. سکینه گفت بابا جان علی ما اونجاست. گفت که بنی اصبحت لا ابصر طریقی، دیگه چشم نمیبینه. رفت سمت علی اکبر. میگن حضرت خودشو پرت کرد از روی اسب، نشست روی زمین، 7 بار صدا زد وا ولدا وا علیا برادران خواهران، امام شما روی خاک نشست، سر علی اکبر را در بغل گذاشت، صورت را روی صورت علی اکبر چسبوند، اما سیر نشد، سیراب نشد. سینه را به روی سینه علی اکبر چسباند، گفتن علی الدنیا بعدک العفا، خاک بر سر این دنیا بعد از تو یا علی. برخیز ای مؤذن جان بخش خیمه ها. علی اکبر نماز صبح از اون گفت جانم فدای گفتن الله اکبرت، هی دست و پا نزنم بر سرم علی، پا بر زمین نکشم ناله در برت. علی اکبر بابا عزیز دلم، اشک من است جسمت تکثیر کرده است، یا اینکه ریخته است به دور پدر پرت، خون لخت مانده بین گلویت نفس بکش، خون لخت مانده بین گلویت. هنوز رمق داشت ها. حضرت چیکار کردن؟ حضرت دید هر کاری میکنه نفس بالا نمیره، انگشتای مبارکش رو گذاشت توی دهان پسر، یک سلفه کن که باز شود راه حنجرت، تو بر هوا بخواب و برو. سادات یا صاحب الزمان منو ببخش، تو بر هوا بخواب و برو، من و عمت می آوریم به خیمه بقای پیکرت. همه صدا بزنید حسین صدای هلهله به حرم نرسه. حمید ابن مسلم میگه حضرت شروع کردن بلند گریه کردن، گفت اولین بار بود ما صدای امام حسین رو میشنیدیم. حضرت زینب آمدند، خودشونو انداختن روی علی اکبر، شاید به خاطر اینکه نمیخواستن امام حسین زخمای علی اکبر رو ببینه. صدا زد و اخاه و ابن اخاه، وای برادر من، نمیدونم بر مصیبت برادرم گریه کنم یا بر مصیبت علی اکبر. ای بی وفا زمونه علی من جوونه چه کرده ان با جسم تو، دو چشم من نداره سود. پاشو علی اکبرم برای من اذان بگو، با قطره های اشک خود به لعل من تو نم بزن. پیش چشای من علی یه بار دیگه قدم بزن، لب روی لبهات میذارم، بوسه میگیرم از کویر. علی من نفس بکش، پیش چشای من نمیر. برای مرگ دشمنان دست میزنن و هله، برای مرگ دشمنان دست میزنن و هله. علی ببین خنده نشسته به لبای حرمله. ای بی وفا زمونه علی من جوونه جفونه رجوتك يا علي تعيش بعدي لتوسد جثتي رمس اللحود إلهنا يا حميد بحق محمد يا عالي بحق علي يا فاطر بحق فاطمة يا محسن بحق الحسن يا قديم الإحسان بحق الحسين عجل لوليك الفرج واجعل فرجنا مع فرجي يا كريم اشف مرضانا ومرضى المؤمنين والمؤمنات استجب دعاءنا اقض حوائجنا وحوائج المؤمنين والمؤمنات وإلى أرواح المؤمنين والمؤمنات. الفاتحة مع الصلوات.